is the moment you all been waiting for.
Welcome to my first fight analysis. I chose one of my favorite fights, my favorite fighter, Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. I thought this was a great fight because, we saw that Oliveira had a really rough first round and he came back to rally in the second round of the fight and end up getting the TKO victory. So I figured why wouldn't I choose this fight, which like I said is one of my favorite fighters. So I have a setup right now of my phone mount right in front of me. Right behind the phone mount is the laptop, which I have already plugged in and everything with the whole fight on it from the UFC's YouTube website, the free fights that they offer I got. So some things to think about before I press start are going to be that Charles Oliveira before this fight was on a 8-fight win streak and his record was 30 wins and 8 losses. To Chandler's current 3-fight win streak where he had a record of 22 wins and 5 losses. So it's currently Michael Chandler making the real title run, but Oliveira was already up there and had the title, so he's just defending again. So I say let's get right into it. And yeah, I have the headphones playing the fight. So let me move this. I want to be able to actually see. Perfect. So we see that he starts off with the traditional Brazilian leg kick. It's always a fun move because almost all of them start off with it. Izzy against Pereira. Pereira started off with it. But we also see that Oliveira started with a really good, I think it's really good standard right kick because he is a southpaw, I'm pretty sure. Let me check that. I'm going through it real quick. Okay, yeah, he is a but he is a southpaw fighter. He started off with a wicked right leg kick, which knocked Michael Chandler to his feet. We saw Michael Chandler recover and get back up. We see that Oliveira is continuously teeing up his right and left leg, meaning that he's ready to do a front kick, a knee, a jumping knee. Gives him a lot of different options. So Michael Chandler's back up on his feet. Like you're gonna hear Joe Rogan say as well that Oliveira is continuously lifting his knee, getting ready for a front kick and knee, and like what I just said. So as all first minute rounds or whatever, you see him just standardly going through the fight, getting range and such. Both of them are getting decent hits. Oliveira is being a lot more technical to Michael Chandler's huge heavy hitting. At 4 minutes and 22 seconds, we see Oliveira get tagged with the left cross. Oliveira immediately goes for the takedown, which gets him stuck in a heavy guillotine. You'll hear you'll hear DC, Rogan, and John Anik all talking about the guillotine. And we see that Charles Oliveira gets out of the guillotine, but we think it's because Michael Chandler possibly didn't have it as deep as he thought. We know that this is a grappling game, and we see Oliveira get Michael Chandler's back. He's not able to get the full choke in and get under the chin, but he gets the hooks in the underarms. Both of them are in, as Dana White, or why do I keep seeing Dana White? Joe Rogan just said. So we know that Oliveira's favorite move later in the year, he gets a win over Justin Gaethje and Poirier. We know one of his favorite moves is the standing rear naked choke. He gets in a half of position of that where he's just on Michael Chandler's back and just working handworks to get out of the standing rear naked position. We know that Michael Chandler, we'll see, is going to go for a extreme back slam. He's going to slam back, but it only makes the body hooks even deeper into the body triangle. You're going to hear Joe Rogan say that a lot. So you'll hear him later say that the next few minutes, not even minutes, like minute is just purely them trying to get hand position and such to get the submission ready. Right now, though, Oliveira has a really deep body hook, and we're just kind of waiting to see how Michael Chandler gets out of it and if Oliveira can get the submission from here or not. He's going to continuously doing body work to distract Chandler from working on his arms, because more body work means you tire out quicker your opponent that you're hitting. So that's kind of the goal for Oliveira. Round 2 minutes 40 seconds, we see Michael Chandler gets up and gets on top position. He keeps Oliveira down, but he will throw a few head strikes from the jumping down. He'll dive down and hit him in the head, do some leg kicks to do some damage. We see him do some damage, and then Oliveira starts doing his Brazilian up kicks. He gets caught by one of those when he goes in. Michael Chandler gets caught. And then DC also says this. I'm just going to repeat. A lot of this is what the commentator is saying, but I agree. It's what I also saw. Michael Chandler did get out of it, which is important because he's dry now, meaning that later in the rounds when he's sweaty, it's going to be easier to get out of these submissions. So it's huge that Chandler was able to get out of the position where Oliveira had his back and such.
That was a massive win for Michael Chandler. Getting down there.
So 2 minutes in, they're back on their feet. We see that Michael Chandler hits Oliveira with a nasty right cross. We see Oliveira go for head movement. It does not work. It's a big thing to think that this fight, nowadays, the ref would call it only because the amount of times that Oliveira was hit in the head as he went for the takedown. But we see that Oliveira goes to his back and hopes to try and get some up kicks or at least catch Chandler in a body triangle again, which he does. He falls into back mount. Chandler's in full mount. And really for the next minute and a half, he just continues to slam into Oliveira and just really just do damage. It's a really rough round. The next minute and a half, that's all there is to say. Yeah, I mean, you're going to see all this. I'm trying to pause it as we go and mark where I pause it, you know. But from there, for the next minute now, it's a minute and 5 seconds, we'll see that Michael Chandler's just going to continue hitting him on the ground, elbows, ground and pound, just trying to get enough for the fight to be ended by the ref. We all know that doesn't exactly happen, but he does some severe damage to Oliveira as he's doing this. Oliveira almost escapes at like 30-40 seconds left, but Michael Chandler is able to jump on him and keep him down.
And this is where Oliveira will have to answer a lot of questions, because before, when things start to happen like this.
Yeah, now at this point, it's Oliveira just hoping that he can. He's hoping that he can get back and rally in the second round and call it good, which we know he does. It's interesting to see because that same right cross that Michael Chandler hit Oliveira with earlier is going to be the same one that Oliveira uses to drop him in the second round. So start a second round right here. We see that like 4 minutes 50 seconds, Oliveira hits Chandler with a nasty right cross that just drops him and just straight against him, oncoming pressure. It's very similar to the Matt Frivola versus Benoit St. Denis head kick, but he ends up using his left hand instead. He hits Michael Chandler with a left hook that really knocks him out. I think it could have been stopped a little later, but that's just how the fight goes. We see Oliveira, do his usual celebrations. He goes out to talk to Joe Rogan, or not Joe Rogan, yeah, Joe Rogan, and then Dana White. Talks to a few other people before he is called back into the octagon. They do some replays, and then they have Bruce Buffer announce the winner. So yeah, 19 seconds around number 2, Oliveira gets TKO victory of second round over Michael Chandler. And this is how he won the belt. Really, that's the whole fight right there, honestly. I think about it. So, I know this is my first time. I probably didn't do the best not analyzing of the video because 1, it was so short, but 2, a lot of it was on the ground. I'm not the biggest knowledge person yet. Let me know what other fights that you want me to try and analyze. And just overall, let me know how I did for this one. And I'll see you in the next one.
This is the moment you all been waiting